and so on, down to the 10th man who got 5 points. Those points, in fact, added to the ones they'd got in previous rounds. Peter Collins led the qualifiers on 30 points. He was not able to make the final because of continental commitments, which left the top 8 as follows. Gordon Kennett of the White City on 29 points, Ivan Major of Hull on 27, John Titman of Leicester on 26, Tony Davey, Ipswich, and Dave Jessup, Reading on 25, Billy Saunders, Ipswich on 24, John Louis, Ipswich, and Malcolm Simmons of Poole on 23. So, among the men to watch, obviously, the remarkable Ivan Major, New Zealand's reigning world champion. Up against him, White City's own Gordon Kennett, the leading Grand Prix qualifier, England veteran John Louis, the runner-up from last year, and Malcolm Simmons from Poole, the England skipper, and in great form. Well, the first heat saw Bob Kilby of Swindon surprisingly push Major into second place. As we join them now for heat number 2, it's Malcolm Simmons on the line, and we have commentary from Dave Lanning and former world champion Barry Briggs.
Heat 2 has 3 Englishmen then and an Australian. Billy Sanders from Australia and Ipswich on the inside. John Davis is the rider in blue. They're just digging the shale up with his right boot there. He's in grid 2. Dave Jessup from Reading in white is in grid 3. And Malcolm Simmons, the England skipper from the Poole Pirates, in yellow and black. So 3 English lions and a kangaroo in heat number 2. It's a very, very even break, but Sanders gets there first and Simmons swings across as Jessup, and then Davis gets it off on that first corner. Pretty torrid there. Jessup comes tearing back down the inside, and Davis going after him as well. All the action at the back there. Sanders is up front, out of trouble. He made a pretty well tipped well start, and the trouble all happened behind him as first Simmons, and then Jessup went hurtling after Davis, and Simmons is wheeling and diving about, but Sanders is out of harm's way up front. From the Witches of Ipswich up there at Vauxhall Heath, chest back, and down there in a big heap goes the rider in blue, John Davis, and he's down and staying down, just seemed to lose control. It looks as though the throttle might have jammed, and it looks like he may have taken a bit of a nasty knock. Well, the race goes on, although the flags are out. Davis is down. It looked like he took a knock on the arm. And not looking at all happy. John Davis going back to the pits, holding that right wrist there, but apart from that, seemingly none the worse. Late arrival for the restart of Heat 2. Dave Jessup there, obviously having some trouble in the pits. John Davis, the rider, causing the race to be restarted, excluded. Billy Sanders then in the rerun on the inside. Dave Jessup in grid 3. Malcolm Simmons on the outside. Heat 2, rerun 3 only. Sanders might well feel aggrieved because he was well clear when the race was stopped, but the inside grid looking very sharp. Let's see if Sanders can do it again and make that getaway from grid number 1. It looks like he has. He's got away first. Jessup's in second place. Sanders has taken them right out one on the first corner there, but Jessup's coming to second place. Simmons on the outside. So it's the 2 lions after the Aussie in the rerun of heat number 2. It's pretty fast and furious out there. Simmons now switching back to the inside of Jessup and squeezing through on the inside. That was a super piece of cornering from Malcolm Simmons. The England skipper has been in really sparkling form lately, and now he's chasing after Sanders. And they really are giving it all screwed on around this White City track. It's a big one, and you really can go full bore. And Simmons is riding right on the back wheel of Sanders now, coming down into the pit corner. Sanders has lost his helmet colour, but he's the rider up front. Simmons locking back, trying to find the drive up the inside. Sanders is aware of his presence as they're into the last lap, and now Simmons must make his effort. He goes out wide, switching back down the inside, and that again was a perfect piece of cornering from Malcolm Simmons. Absolutely superb. Took the corner wide, switched back down the inside, and he wins that one, and that really was another super piece of speedway from Malcolm Simmons. A really impressive piece of cornering. Malcolm Simmons, 3 points, had to work hard for them, but my golly, didn't he deserve them?
And this is where we see a great piece of riding by Malcolm Simmons. Number 8, he's chasing Billy Saunders, the Australian, number 5. Simmons went wide into the corner, turned back very hard and then got his wheels straight in line. Saunders is stuck out in the middle of the track. Simmons is up the inside him, and Saunders can do nothing at all about stopping Simmons from coming underneath him, and it's a great ride by Simmons.
Heat number 3 being pushed off, and heat 3 features 4 track characters we don't see an awful lot of on ITV, because we have 4 relatively being pushed off, and heat 3 features 4 track characters we don't see an awful lot of on ITV, because we have 4 relative newcomers to our screen. It's going to be there in blue, John Titman. He's from the Leicester Lions and from Brisbane, Australia. John Titman, already a qualifier for the 1978 Golden Jubilee World Final, which of course we'll be seeing on ITV in September. Titman will be in grid number 2. Grid 3 will be Bobby Beaton. That is the complete lineup. Chris Morton from Bellevue, Manchester. He's on the inside, wearing the red helmet colour. That's Chris Morton, and he is a very spectacular little rider on his stage. John Titman in grid 2 in blue. In grid 3, it's Bobby Beaton from Hull Vikings, one of the Scots in the business, and on the outside, Reg Wilson in yellow and black from Sheffield. Heat number 3. And again, it's Morton, and from the outside there, Reg Wilson got a flying start. Run right past the corner. Morton is under him, so too is Bobby Beaton, and almost is Titman as well. Titman goes through as well now, so that was Reg Wilson going not quite from first to last in one lap, as Morton stretches away up front. Second place now is Beaton, and it's getting a bit torrid there at the back. Down goes Reg Wilson, and well, he's not likely to forget his Grand Prix debut very easily, because he's down and the race must surely be stopped because his bike's in mid-track and he's out on the fence. You can see there's Reg Wilson, not looking at all happy, but he really had just a lap and a quarter, and it was all happening for him. Went from first to last and then hit the fence. Well, Barry Briggs, another piece of torrid action. Let's have a look at that one through in slow motion, shall we?
Yes, on the outside in last position we got Reg Wilson. He's gone in very wide on the outside of number 11, but about halfway around the corner he runs out of grip, and you can see him going now straight on. Now he's got to lay it down to stop hitting the fence. You can see him laying down the bike, but he's very, very close to the fence. The bike ricochets in. Reg is straight in after him, but it looks as though he's okay. But it looks as though if you get out wide going into that first corner, you've got no chance. It's too slick to hold up the bike.
So Reg Wilson, another wounded warrior, licks his wounds, walks away, apparently none the worse. Heat number 4 coming up, and that's the rider they're all behind. Gordon Kennett, the home skipper. He's in the blue helmet in grid 2, head qualifier for this VolksWagen Grand Prix final. There's the lineup. John Louis on the inside. Gordon Kennett, perhaps the boys are watching grid 2. Tony Davey from Ipswich is in white in grid 3. Keith White from Ackley Oaks is on the outside in yellow and black. So Louis on the inside, Kennett. Then we have Davey, and on the outside it's Keith White in yellow and black. An interesting angle to watch the start. The inside grids have shown themselves to be the quickest so far. There we go again. Louis has made a jet-propelled start. Kennett was left. He's in second place and battling through there. Gordon Kennett really didn't make any kind of start at all there. John Louis is really streaking away here in heat number 4. Well, now Gordon Kennett is a bit of a specialist coming from the back. He's on his home circuit, but he's got an awful lot of ground to make up as Louis almost overcooks that corner, and he's allowed Kennett right back onto his back wheel. In third place is Davey, but John Louis not looking at all happy on the corners, and Gordon Kennett has given him a wallop, and down he goes. Kennett grabbed a big handful there, and he gave Louis the heave-ho, but he himself bit the dust. So that is an upset here in heat 4. It's allowed Tony Davey to go on up front. In second place it's Louis. The race is going on. Gordon Kennett is kicking himself. There's Davey, and he's not looking gift 3 points in the mouth. He's a good way back there. Davey's going to win it, and the drama piling up thick and fast here at White City in this VolksWagen Grand Prix final. Tony Davey says thanks very much for 3 points. He wins it. Second place Louis. Third place was White. Gordon Kennett down, and certainly end of heat 4. John Louis, that was a very controversial incident in heat 4. Would you care to talk us through it yourself now?
Yeah, go on then, I'll try to. Well, as you can see, I'm coming into the corner there. I've made a good turn, but the track is a bit wet and it's snatchy and grippy, and I'm making sure to miss the holes, but I think that David Kennett comes on the inside of me, and you'll find that he hits the grip and the machine lifts, and I can actually see him on the inside of me up in the air, and, you know, there's nothing for me to do but to go right wide to let him through. But unfortunately, Gordon locked right round and came off. As you can see that now, it's now going to happen. Up he comes.
But, John, you were clearly impeded there. Tony Davey goes through the inside. Really, would you think the referee should have stopped that and had a rerun?
Yeah, well, I should think so. Yeah, I certainly would.
Well, John Louis, thank you very much. We're going to carry on with the action. We wish you good luck for the rest of the meeting anyway.
Thank you.
Heat number 5 coming up into the starters' orders. And we have in Heat 5 Bob Kilby, and he has been a surprise packet. So too has Bobby Beaton. There's Beaton in yellow and black as a second place after one outing, Bobby Beaton. And we've got Keith White on the inside wearing red, the red helmet colour, of course. So that's the lineup. And as we look across the line at Heat 5, Keith White on the inside, Bob Kilby next to him in blue, Billy Sanders in white, Bobby Beaton in yellow and black on the outside. So Kilby has been the surprise packet of the meeting so far. Good win first time out. He's in grid 2 and perhaps the rider to watch. Although Sanders in grid 3 is a pretty sharp starter as well. Heat number 5. Who get to the corner for Sanders, just leaning on a bit. Kilby keeping going. He moves into the lead. So it's Kilby leading, and now it's Beaton coming hammering down the inside of Billy Sanders, taking him out into the dirt on the pit corner, and there's not a lot to choose in Heat 5. And now it's White that's come hurtling under Sanders, so Sanders has gone from second to last. Kilby's still up front. In second place it's Beaton. Now Keith White making his run down the inside of Beaton. Gives him a bit of a nudge over out the way, and Keith White chasing now after Bob Kilby. Keith White's leading a good race here. Keith White, the son, of course, of the Leicester co-promoter Vic White, kind of blow a little bit hot and cold in the big time, but he's really having a double in Heat 5. Kilby is in the lead, White right behind him, having fought his way through from the back as they move into the last lap. 420 yards to go around the White City Circus, and Bob Kilby, well, stretching away now. He is looking very, very lively this afternoon. He's brought up 30 yards suddenly in a lap on Keith White, so it's going to be 3 points for Kilby, 2 for White, the hard way from the back, 1 for Beaton, and Billy Sanders goes from second to last. There's Kilby, the winner, and he's got 6 points. And is he going to be a real surprise packet? Heat 8 has Malcolm Simmons, a most impressive winner first time out in the blue helmet colour, and Tony Davey there in yellow and black there. Also, he was a race winner first time. So these two riders very much in contention for this £1,000 first prize. Davey in yellow and black, he challenges Peter Collins, the holder of this title, incidentally tomorrow at Bellevue's Jubilee meeting for the golden helmet. So Davey, the man in form at the moment. Simmons has a race win under his belt. Finn Thompson on the inside, then Simmons. Reg Wilson, who managed to go just about a lap and a quarter before spilling in his first ride. He's in grid 3. And Davey, a somewhat fortuitous race winner first time out on the outside. Heat number 8. Oh, Davey got a flyer from the outside and chops everybody up to the first corner. Davey starting is his speciality. Simmons seemed to get a nudge there. That allowed Thompson into second place, but Malcolm Simmons battled his way through from the back his first time out. And I wonder if he can do it again. He's now going after Thompson. He's gone under him there on the... Or has he? No, he hasn't quite. Thompson aware of it. But Simmons seems to like to wind it up. Tony Davies a long way clear up front, looking at his machine there a bit anxiously, but it's going pretty sweetly at the moment. So can Malcolm Simmons do it again? It's getting awfully dusty out there. Davey going like a long dog, showing just why he has been nominated for that Golden Helmet Challenge against Peter Collins. It doesn't look like Malcolm Simmons is going to catch him. Barry Briggs, Davey has ridden a really impressive race this time, hasn't he?
Yes, he was really on the ball on the start, Davey. Gained himself 2 or 3 lengths lead, and Simmons was way back in the pack. He's come past one, but he lost touch with Davies, and no chance can he get him.
It looks like it's going to be a bit difficult coming from the back now, Barry, doesn't it?
Yes, it seems to be a little amount of drive, Dave. You've got to keep close to the leader. If you get left behind, you're fighting with someone else, and the leader's getting away, you're really struggling.
So first Davies, second Simmons, in third place Thompson there in heat 8, and Davy is unbeaten and is looking a distinct danger for this title.
Now the rider to watch is closest to the camera in yellow and black is Tony Davy from Ipswich. He's really ready on the start. You can see he moves fractionally before the tapes even move. He's got his advantage. You can see he's closing down the rest of the opposition. He's pushed right down to the inside and closed off everybody's avenue, and he's streaked away to a clear-cut lead going into it. Malcolm Simmons, his biggest danger is in mid-track, and somebody's got past Simmons, but a great start by Davies, and he holds on for the rest of the race.
And the joint leaders do meet in heat 9, so it's going to be quite a crucial one. There's Bob Kilby in white, and inside him will be Tony Davy in blue. Dave Jessup on the inside just to make life interesting. He's on 4 points. John Tipman on the outside. Heat number 9. Again, it was a ragged start, and it was Davy who was left as Jessup gets up to the corner. So too does Tipman from the outside. So it's the two lesser fancied riders perhaps in fourth places. Jessup chasing hard now after Tipman. Down the home straight under our commentary position, John Tipman's really going strong up front. Jessup has got almost under him, way at the back there. It is Bob Kilby and Tony Davy. So this is really going to open up this Volkswagen Grand Prix final. The two leaders left a good long way there as Jessup and Tipman begin to stretch out up front. Jessup in second place, trying the outside ride, locking back there. Tipman is aware of him, but Jessup and Tipman absolutely neck and neck into this bottom corner, absolutely giving nothing away. And Tipman has held off that challenge there, and that really was pretty hairy. Into the last lap. Again, Jessup tries the outside run. He'll lock back again. He gets his wheels in line. He's trying the inside of Tipman. Tipman again has balked him. And John Tipman really has ridden a most uncompromising race here. Getting quite excited here in White City. Tipman's won it. Jessup is in second place. Third place is Bob Kilby. Last was Tony Davy. So Tipman wins it, and that has put the cat among the pigeons. Chris Morton is, in fact, who goes into the joint lead after each of the riders have completed 3 starts. Chris Morton there, level with Malcolm Simmons on 8 points apiece. Simmons, of course, has 2 more premium points. In third place, it's Bob Kilby. He has 7 points. Then we have Tony Davy, Dave Jessup, John Louis, and John Tipman, all on a joint 4th place with 6 apiece.
Well, some really exciting speedway then at London's White City, and we shall go back there in just a few moments. We've now back to World of Sport, and we now go back straight away to Speedway and London's White City Stadium, where £1,250 is awaiting the winner of the Daily Mirror VolksWagen Grand Prix Speedway Final. Well, the points after 12 heats, you'll remember, were as follows. Malcolm Simmons and Chris Morton on 8, Bob Kilby on 7, Tony Davy, Dave Jessup, John Louis and John Tipman all on 6. A really tight situation then. We now join them in heat 14 with commentary again from those two doyens of Speedway, Dave Lanning and Barry Briggs.
The 14th heat of this Volkswagen Grand Prix final, of course, with a lot of money at stake. £1,250 for the winner. And there is one man who may well still have his eye on the title. Malcolm Simmons, who is the co-leader. He's been beaten once. He has 8 points after 3 starts. Mark Simmons, the England captain, really has been in dominant form recently in British Speedway. Seems to be coming to his peak just right for that Golden Jubilee World Final in September. But he's got some opposition here in Heat 14. Steve Bastall and Keith White inside him. They are both spoilers. Malcolm's in grid 3, and John Tipman, perhaps the biggest spoiler of all, on the outside with 6 points. Like Tipman has made the start from the outside. Simmons is in second place. In third place it's Bastable, but John Tipman, this Australian from Queensland, who has already qualified for the World Final and is in fact the only Australian who really has reached that stage, he is looking very, very sharp and a little bit underrated, a little bit unfashionable, but he's got a lot of skill, a lot of ability and a lot of pace, and Simmons is now really going to wind it all up again. Simmons has come through from the back quite dramatically in earlier races, and he's got it to do all again now as he chases after Tipman up front, heat 14. Still leading. He knows he's got Simmons on his tail, and Simmons likes to dart in here as they come out of the corner. Looks like he's measuring him up. Tipman is a wily old boy, and he shut the gate there, expecting the attack to come on the inside. It really is a fascinating battle of wits. They're into the last lap, and Simo must make his bid now. Well wide, getting her wheels back in line. The big effort must come now. Chipman has ridden immaculately. Now Simmons around the outside. Surely he'll try the lock back. No, he thought about it for a minute. He's going around the outside instead, and he's picked him on the post. Well, that really was a remarkable speedway from Malcolm Simmons. He seemed to have lost it on that last corner. He changed his mind. He picked it up, and it looked like he got home by a tyre width.
Oh, we see some terrific riding here by Malcolm Simmons. He's second in the start of this slow-mo here. That John Tipman's led the whole race. Simmons has been going in a little bit wider, going in the corner. Titman goes down the line because he wants to block off that avenue. Simmons, every corner's gone out wide, and halfway around the corner he turns back. You can see him start to go back from the inside now. Titman's half expecting it. Malcolm's changed his mind at the last moment, let it run round the outside and kept it running, and he's now racing to the finish. He's got a little bit better of a line to the finish, and there he just gets John Titman from Australia right on the line. You can see he's built up his speed and crossed the finish. Just a win for Malcolm Simmons, and what a great last corner by Malcolm.
Well, here we go for heat number 15, and it's an important one for another of the riders. In fact, two. Well, Gordon Kennett, what a disappointing afternoon he's had. And it looks like he has decided to call it a day. Gordon Kennett, the home skipper, hot favourite, anti-post, but looking like he's going home a bit disappointed here at White City. And heat number 15 looks like being interesting, very interesting, because we've got Tony Davey on the inside, 6 points for him, 2 wins and a last place, but still not out of contention for a place in the first 3. Ivan Major, world champion, 2 points only, very disappointing. Chris Morton, the joint leader before that last race, which Simmons won, of course, he's on 8 points, and Billy Sanders, nobody's back on the outside, on 4. Heat number 15. And it's Tony Davey from the inside. Sanders has been left at the gates. He's waving to them, but the race continues. There's Sanders looking most aggrieved. This is the action up front. It's Davey losing his helmet colour. Tony Davey leads it. In second place it's Morton. Third place is Ivan Major. Sanders has got going way at the back now, but he's got no chance, surely, here in heat 15. Tony Davey leads. Morton will want to get up here, and it looks like we're going to get a fair old dice up. Davey then, minus his red helmet colour, but going strong, and Morton having to pull out all the stops behind him. Oh, Davey was looking for him there and almost lost it. He is riding the race of his life, Tony Davey, and Morton is trying to skin him down the outside now, and I think he's going to do it. Max Moorflower got around the outside. Davey was looking at his machine, but Chris Morton is in a rampant mood. Moved up there, beautiful piece of overtaking. Tony Davey, incidentally, is on a machine which was bought for him by an old friend of ours on ITV, Freddie Starr, the comedian. Chipped in £1,000 for that bike. Didn't really go perhaps as well as Tony would have liked there. As Chris Morton wins it, that keeps him very much in touch with this title. Morton, again, having to work hard to come from the back, but he gets the 3 points, and he's still up there in joint lead. Well, Billy Sanders, you didn't look at all happy about that start. Can we have your opinions of it now?
Well, it's a bit hard to see the green light, Dave. I didn't see the green light come on. You know, that's the sort of normal starting procedure. You know, you sort of watch for the green light, and then you get ready for the tapes to go up. But I didn't even see the green light come on, so I don't really know what happened. Bit upset really, because
was it the sun in your eyes, perhaps, Billy? Is it difficult to see it in that glare?
It is, difficult to see it, but I've seen it, in the other 3 races. I've seen it no problems, but that one, I'll be glad if I could see it.
Tough luck, buddy. We wish you better hunting in your last ride anyway.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Heat number 16 coming up to the starting line, and still plenty to race for here at White City as we come into the final stages of this VolksWagen Grand Prix final. And 2 gentlemen here with their eyes still very much on the big prize money at the top. Dave Jessup in the second grid and John Louis on the outside. They're both on 6 points, so they could both squeeze into the frame here, but they need points in heat number 16. Bobby Beaton could upset their apple cart. There's John Louis. He has 6 points, a second, a win and a third place. Looking a lot more like the old battling tiger of old this season, and particularly this afternoon. And the inside grid then, it's Beaton. Next to him, Jessup, looking for points. Finn Thompson in grid 3, only 2 points, out of contention. And on the outside, John Louis. So Jessup and Louis, very old friends and rivals. The riders perhaps to watch in grids 2 and 4 in heat 16. nudging and pushing. Jessup was left as Louis gets to the corner first. Louis leads it, Beaton is second. In third place it's Thompson. Jessup paying the penalty for trying to anticipate the tapes here. He's back in fourth place as Louis stretches away up front. That's blowing here. Very warm, dry afternoon. Must make visibility a bit tricky for the riders at the back, and Thompson almost missed that corner completely there. Managed to pull out of trouble. Jessup has nipped through on the inside, and he's passed Thompson there. Now he's going after Beaton, but Louis is getting a clear run up front. Not an awful lot to play with in heat number 16. Jessup is back in third place, having to work awfully hard to pick his way through the traffic. But Louis has got the light going well. He's in front, he's seeing fresh air, and he's making the most of it. Jessup has now squeezed back into second place, but he's only got a lap to catch John Louis, and he'll surely be kicking himself for making a little bit of a hash of the start. Louis is going to win heat 16. Those 3 points are going to be precious to him. He wins it. Jessup having made him a lot of ground in second place. Third place was Beaton. 16 Grand Prix finalists have just one ride left here now at White City, and it really is quite interesting at the top, isn't it? Because we have joint leaders Chris Morton and Malcolm Simmons, John Louis in third place on 9 points, then 4 riders tying for fourth place, Tony Davey, Dave Jessup, Bob Kilby and John Titman on 8 apiece. And Morton and Simmons still have to meet.
Yes, in this heat, Dave, this is going to be a crucial one. It's Simmons and Morton at leading it, but there's Kilby on the inside start, and if Kilby makes a start, it can really put the cat amongst the pigeons. And with John Louis in there as well, what a race this could be this afternoon, and I'd watch him round the outside because he's got number 4 start as well.
And there in fact is Chris Morton, one of 2 racing brothers from Partington in Cheshire. Good little rider, this Barry, a little bit perhaps underrated and overshadowed by Peter Collins at Bellevue.
Yes, I'm sure that you're right, Dave, but sometimes he's a little bit erratic, but today he's doing the outside run and he's doing it very well, but on certain types of track he's great, and I think today suits him very, very well.
Heat 17, and this is certainly going to sort the men 8 from the boys, because all 4 riders are very, very much in contention for the big money prizes. And remember, there's £1,250 at stake for the winner, $750 for the second, $500 for the third. That's the lineup. Bob Kilby on the inside, he has 8 points. The joint leader, Malcolm Simmons, on 11 points. John Louis, a little unfortunately, doing 2 races on the trot, and that might affect him slightly in this one, because it's a real tough one. There's John, the last one out of the pits, understandably. He, of course, has 9 points, so he can still get amongst the big money at the top. And on the outside, Chris Morton in yellow and black, he too has 11 points. So heat number 17, what an important one. It surely will sort out the winner of this big VolksWagen Grand Prix. Seem to be settling down very comfortably. 4 Englishmen, of course, all very experienced campaigners. Here we go, here's the start, so crucial. And it's Simmons on the inside, and Louis in white, and Louis gets to the corner first, and Morton is going around the outside, but John Louis, despite having 2 races on the trot, is leading heat number 17, and they're all piling in after him. Now, it is Morton who comes through on the inside. Simmons is back in third place, and Morton came from nowhere. Simmons is back in third place. Louis still leads it. And Morton has almost run into him there. My word, how did he manage to stop? He still managed to hold on to second place. Squeezed Malcolm Simmons out, but Chris Morton very nearly made a hash of that one. Simmons is going through on the inside now. Is he not quite? John Louis is up front. Barry Briggs, when did you see a piece of cornering like that? Morton must have missed him by just fractions there.
Yes, he was in trouble, Dave, and it was so close, and he messed up his own chances. And the other boy get away, and he's pulling away now. And
well, it's very interesting. It's interesting now, Barry, because if they stay like this will take John Louis up onto 12 points. Chris Morton's 2 points here will make him on 13 points. Malcolm Simmons will have just 1 point here if they stay like this. We're going to have to get the computers out.
I'd hate it to be a live meeting.
Louis wins it. Second place was Morton. Third place was Simmons. Now out come the slide rules.
Well, this is a very, very crucial start, and Chris Morton right on the outside here, is closest to us. He appears to make the start. Number number 3, John Louis, the second from us, he makes the clear start. Morton here, you watch Morton, he tries to go around the outside. He's closest to us. He's going a very, very wide corner here. Simmons is right up the inside, but this part coming up, you'll just see it's very good riding by Morton. He comes down there. Simmons has gone a little bit wide now. You'll see Morton cut straight back in front of Simmons. There he goes. He's closed the gap down, and now he's come back into second place, and he's underneath John Louis, and it looks as though he's going to try to get underneath Louis. They go down the straight. He's about the same speed as what John is. They go down to the next corner, and this is where the incident happened now. He's gone up the inside of John Louis. He's picked up a little bit of grip. He's gone into Louis. Now he's got to lay it down or hit John. He just touches John's leg. He pulls back very, very hard. He almost stops and drops it, and he was a lucky boy to stay on there.
So after the final 3 races had been run, the dust had settled at White City, the computers had stopped clicking. This was the overall result on the afternoon's racing. Chris Morton, the winner, with 13 points. In joint second place, John Louis and Malcolm Simmons with 12. Tony Davey squeezed into 4th place on the strength of having more race wins than Dave Jessup in 5th spot, although they both had 11 points on the day. Overall, then, the premium points total looked like this. Clearly the winner, Chris Morton from Bellevue, 71 points. In joint second place, John Louis and Malcolm Simmons with 65.5 points apiece. Tony Davey in 4th place with 60. Dave Jessup still in the prize money in 5th place with 55. Well, Chris Morton, congratulations. The computers and slide rules show that you are the winner of the 1978 Grand Prix final. How do you feel to be the champion?
Quite surprised, really. You know, I came here determined to win it, but now I've got quite surprised.
And of course that's £1,250, the title. It must be really your biggest win to date, Chris.
It certainly is, yeah. I've not won a big meeting for a long time. I think last one was the Golden Apple, and I've been desperate this year to win something, and it's come up now. And
of course, Chris, the World Final just around the corner, really. Will this buck your confidence up, give you a psychological lift towards Wembley, do you think?
Yeah, I think it will, yeah. The first thing is the British final. That's I think that's harder than Wembley.
Well, we'll be seeing that, Chris. We wish you good luck and congratulations again.
Well, thank you very much, Dave.
Yes, indeed. Many congratulations to young Chris Morton. And, of course, with the British final of the World Championship, which he mentioned there, a Speedway Nation.